the major breaking news as we come on the air. Ceasefire is now just hours away. President Trump has spoken to Benjamin Netanyahu, and also the president of Lebanon has invited them to the White House. This after the IDF has found 130 plus weapons belonging to Hezbollah stashed inside of a school. So now we await the discussions and hopefully peace, which will lead to broader peace. Middle East correspondent Zach Anders has the very latest. This is significant, of course. Started in D.C. earlier this week and seems to have a lot of momentum, Zach.
Well, Bianca, this is really remarkable. We have breaking news here. President Trump has declared a ceasefire in Lebanon will, in fact, begin tonight. It will take place at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Now, the president writing on his platform, Truth Social, just about 30 minutes ago that he, quote, just had an excellent conversation with the highly respected President Joseph Aoun of Lebanon and Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of Israel. These two leaders have agreed that in order to achieve peace between their countries, they will formally begin a 10-day ceasefire at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Now, we've just learned through Jerusalem here and some reporting on the Israeli networks that the president then picked up the phone, called Prime Minister Netanyahu, and he was in with some of his ministers. Apparently, the cabinet, the Israeli cabinet here, that there were some in the room that expressed anger about hearing this ceasefire from the media, that they did not, the Israelis here, the Israeli war cabinet did not vote on this ceasefire. So potentially here we have this somewhat mandated, dictated terms to the Israelis from the U.S. side. The president saying, no, we're going to have this ceasefire take place. Now, that, of course, remarkable sit down on Tuesday between the ambassadors of Lebanon and Israel. That was the first high-level direct talks between these neighboring countries that share a border in more than 3 decades. And in fact, no Lebanese and Israeli leader has ever conversed directly one-on-one in the history of either nation. Another remarkable thing as we're dealing with a long-standing distrust and hatred towards one another, and of course Hezbollah, a massive paramilitary group of tens of thousands that operates autonomously within Lebanon's own border, gets its funding and its weapons from Iran. They're not party to this deal, but we have seen some precedent here where Lebanon and Israel, when that ceasefire was agreed to in November 24, Hezbollah was not really party to that either, but they still abided by it because of how hard they had been taking hits. Of course, you remember the pager operation that took out a lot of senior level and mid-level commanders and leadership. So they've been beleaguered for a long time, trying to reconstitute themselves, and they took party to previous ceasefire engagements that they were not a part of. Now, as it stands at this point, since this war reignited, the Lebanese authorities say that more than 2,000 people have been killed. They don't distinguish that number between combatants and civilians. And the IDF is claiming that they've killed more than 1,700 Hezbollah men in the fighting in recent days, or I should say since the fighting began, Bianca. So again, a remarkable development here, a ceasefire that's set to go into effect 5 o'clock Eastern tonight. We're going to watch that border very closely when it does. Bianca?